Good day, viewers, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Generation C. My name is Desiree Garces, and I will be the host that's going to be taking you through today's episode. Well, this week's zone was something a bit different. This week's zone was all about my zone. So it's starting from the coordinators of the different shows, to the coordinators of the different publications, to the university engagement, everything my zone. So if you're interested in seeing what was in this week's zone, then stay tuned because we are going to dive into that right after our daily promo ad. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back, viewers. So as I mentioned to you guys before, this week's zone was all about my zone. So starting on the first page, we have, we profiled Rivaldo Kavanga, where my zone believes he's most likely to become the president. He not only leads amongst the MyZone team members, but is doing the most in every space he finds himself in. We will scoop him out of the office to join us in studio today. But before we do that, stay tuned for the short video.
Hi guys, my name is Rivaldo Kavanga, a member of the Children's Parliament, the Deputy Chairperson of the Whole House Committee and the Chairperson of the Whole House Committee of the Namibian Children's Parliament. I am also a UNICEF representative, part of the SADC Parliamentary Committee, and an amazing intern here at my zone, Namibia Media Holdings. My message to you guys today is that with hard work you can never go wrong, and that you can achieve anything you put your mind to. I am a firm believer in manifestation, so my message to you guys is today, speak your dreams into existence. Trust me, it really works.
And on page 2, we have a Vox Pop where we are getting to know the My Zone employees, where they will be telling us about their specific focus areas. Our photo of the week for this week is a photo of the My Zone team taken by Tanya Baus. In this photo, we have from left to right, we have Irene Marie van der Walt, Wetumwene Shikage, Monique Adams, Rivaldo Kavanga, Jeanette Diergaard, and Octavia Tsinibes. The MyZone team wishes everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. For our news, we have Rivaldo Kavanga again on the podcast, which MyZone will be launching in 2022. The podcast is also known as Nothing But Tea, and will look to give young people a platform to discuss general issues they face. Conversations will range from topics such as renting, living with your parents, buying your apartment, sex on the first date, sex before marriage, alcoholism, being ghosted, etc. And then moving on to page 3, we have a story by Monique Adams where she talks about the matric farewells, where we have the glitz and the glamour, the red carpet moments which were captured in 2021 matric farewells, where we broadcasted them live countrywide. Here is a quick recap video of some of the moments that were captured. On page 4 and 5 is a spread about the My Zone concluding a colorful year and promising greater things to come. The My Zone brand prides itself in its dynamic nature and the constant refining of its product. Matric farewells, straight talk, media camp, educational booklets. Active Kids has reached its 300th episode, regional engagements, and those are only a few to mention. On page 6, we have the My Zone team. So if you were wondering who the faces are behind all this wonderful work that My Zone has been doing, this is the page that you don't want to miss. So there we have the My Zone team, different people on the My Zone team talking about who they are, their nicknames, their favorite songs, their highlights of the year. It's just cool stuff on that page. And then we move on to page 7, where we have our star colleague. I think everybody knows our star colleague, which is Maricel Stoffberg. She is one of the most hardworking and loved My Zone team member. Maricel has ventured into a new space and is spreading her wings now. What an informative edition that was. My Zone team is gearing up all the newspapers again for our 2022 academic year. So be sure to stay tuned and be glued to your screens by joining us, because joining us in studio right now is going to be Rivaldo Kavanga for a nice interview. So viewers, as promised, we are joined in studio by Mr. Rivaldo Kavanga. Welcome, Rivaldo.
Thank you so much for having me there, and thank you so much for tuning in, guys.
No, it's a pleasure. So, we're just going to dive straight into it. So, we here at NMH My Zone know who Rivaldo Kavanga is. But I want you to give the viewers a bit of an insight on who Rivaldo Kavanga is and what you are involved in.
Okay, basically, firstly, it's a two-part question, and just to answer that two-part question, I'll first start with the first part as to who Rivaldo Kavanga is. I'm just a kind, caring guy that basically looks to have fun all the time and that looks to advance youthful issues, basically. And with regards to what I do, I am part of the Namibian Children's Parliament. I am the chairperson of the Health Committee and the deputy chairperson of the Whole House Committee. I am a UNICEF representative, and I serve on the SADC Parliamentary Committee, which is part of the Southern African Youth Forum. So then, yes, in a nutshell, that's who I am and that's what I do.
Okay, so Rivaldo, considering that you are a cocktail of a person, tell us a bit about your aspirations in life.
My aspirations in life, I have so many aspirations in life actually. I want to become a lawyer, I want to become an auditor, I want to become so many things, man. But my end goal at the end of the day is obviously to become president of the Namibian nation. So then, yes, that's my end goal.
Why is that your end goal?
Why is that my end goal? I've realized that I have a trait for leading, basically. And I see all these things happening in the country, and I feel like I actually know I can drastically change the status quo of the country.
You wanna be the change that you see?
I want to be the change that I see, perfectly summed up.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Okay, so tell us a bit about your favorite thing about working for My Zone.
The best part about working for My Zone, of course, as an intern here, or rather as a journalist at My Zone, I had 2 shows. I coordinated 2 shows, which was the Straight Talk Spelling Bee and the Straight Talk Debate Series, and I engaged with a lot of children. It was the best part of my show. I engaged with high school learners and with primary school learners, and they taught me so much, man. And it was just fun seeing them go head to head in academic games, seeing them push themselves to the best of their abilities. So that was the best part for as a journalist here at My Zone.
Okay, you know what? In the beginning, we did speak about all the things that you do, but you never really told us about what it is that you do here at My Zone specifically. So, what does your day-to-day work look like?
Okay, so my day-to-day work basically looks like I am in charge of the sports desk for My Zone. So basically, I oversee all sporting activities, being that I'm also really interested in sports. I contribute to the 2 weekly papers, which is Careers and The Zone, of course. Careers Hub, my apologies, Careers Hub and The Zone. And I also contribute to some of the supplements and papers that we have. For instance, I coordinate the Matric Guide, which is a guide that comes out and basically guides matric learners on how to go about with the university process, what to do in high school to pass the examinations, and just how life after high school looks like. And yeah, I think that's it basically in a nutshell. Sometimes I'm on shifts for the Namibian Sun, so I also help out there with the Namibian Sun, and I help with sporting activities whenever there are sporting activities during the weekend.
Okay.
So, yes.
Oh, interesting. So tell me a bit about what Rivaldo is like outside work.
What Rivaldo is like outside work. I love socializing. I love meeting new people. I love going to places, and I love traveling. I do believe that weekends are meant to be spent outside. When to, so I try my best. I really try my best to leave the capital city every weekend. I always do that. You know, just to go basically explore new places also.
Do all these things. You love traveling.
I'm just very adventurous. Let me say, I'm very adventurous. I love doing new things. I love the hype that comes. You know, whenever you're told to do something new, it's like you're a little scared, but then you're also excited to see what will happen when you start doing that.
it,
So
yes.
I always ask myself, what happens when I go to Swakopmund on a weekend? What happens if I go to Khobabas on a weekend alone? I never book in advance. I just go to the town, and when I arrive at the town, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me see what place I can sleep at. Let me see what I can do when I'm in this place. So that excitement actually builds up in me, and I figure things out always.
Very, very spontaneous, if you ask me.
Thank you.
So, you know, Rivaldo, you do so much at your age, you know, you are involved in so much, you know, and I feel like there are so many of the viewers who could be learners in high school, learners even in university, maybe even people older than you, you know, who you could be inspiring. So what advice would you give to the young or old viewers watching you today who are feeling inspired by this young man, this cocktail of a person who's doing so much at his age?
If I had to give advice, really, it would just be strike a balance and know your purpose at an early age. Know what you want to do. You know, being an academic in high school, also I had a jam-packed academic life because I did most of my subjects on higher level. And so I thought that, no, since I'm doing my subjects on high level, I can't do all these other things. And I thought, okay, let me give up all those other things. But I just didn't feel that was me. So I really struck that balance where I knew this is the time for academics, this is the time to do what, this is the time to do what. And with that, I managed to push all sectors of my life. And also discover yourself, know who you really are, and just be excellent at who you are, basically. That's the best advice I would give. Do not dim your light for anyone else. Be who you really are. Trust me, so many opportunities come forward and so many opportunities are opened once people see the real you. People want something that's realistic, something that they can relate to. So if you try to be someone else, trust me, people notice, and they don't always. Nobody wants something that's fake. We don't want fake shoes. We don't want fake Air Forces. Nobody wants that. So be you. Be the real you. And trust me, everything will work out in your favor.
Oh, wow, that's so beautiful, Rivaldo. And I can relate so much to what you're saying in regards to, yes, and the authenticity of the Air Force. I can really relate to that. So I would also just like to say thank you for joining us in studio today. I do believe that, you know, you have inspired one more person today, and I think I'm that person, even though you inspire me every single day. But thank you, lastly, just for joining us here in studio. And yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for hosting me, man.
Welcome back to Varsity Chat Room, viewers. So on page 8 of The Zone, on our Varsity Corner this week, we had Fanuel Shinendima. Fanuel is an accounting student, a Namibian student, studying all the way in Stellenbosch, South Africa. So he is basically telling us about the end of his beginning, which is the end of his first year studying outside Namibia. Stay tuned for a short video from Fanuel.
Hi guys, my name is Fanuel Shinedima and I just completed my first year Bachelor's in Accounting at the University of Stellenbosch in South Africa. First year was kind of a great but yet hectic experience, especially considering the situation around COVID and having to do things online, and switching back to face was kind of hard for me because I couldn't keep up, and sometimes I had to study, and being told that the exam was going to be face to face was kind of hard, and I couldn't prepare in time. But overall, the experience was great. I made a lot of friends from all over the world. I learned about different cultures and how things happen on the other side, and I think that was the biggest highlight for me for the year. And the most important thing that I would advise Great Walls that are considering Stellenbosch University or going to university in general is to be prepared to work extra harder, to be independent and to push yourself. And also to look forward to a great and amazing experience of socializing and meeting people from all over the world and people from all over different cultures and all that, and to kind of have that great experience and make friends in university. And be prepared to work extra hard also, considering the fact that university is not like high school. You have to push yourself and make sure that at the end of the day, you kind of perform up to standard. I think that's the only advice I can give for now. Thank you.
On the same page, we have a story which is the NMH bursary story, telling us about how NMH annually gives out a bursary to specifically selected students who are interested in studying anything in media, in design, communications. And then we also have, finally, the last story, we have the varsity engagement story, where my zone met up with presidents of universities in South Africa and presidents of universities here in Namibia to discuss creating a collaboration for the varsity chat room show and for the publication. Well, viewers, we have come to the end. And by the end, I mean the last episode of Generation C for 2021. I really cannot believe that we have reached this point. And with that being said, I also just want to give out a huge thank you to all our viewers who consistently tune into our Generation C episodes, and also to everybody who contributed to Generation C, but whether it's you coming on the show, whether it's you providing us with content, news, it is highly appreciated, and you did make Generation C just a bit more special. Well, like I mentioned to you guys, this is the final episode. We will only be seeing you guys again in 2022, when we will be back with some new content onto your screens. From me, Desiree Garces, thank you for joining us. Bye.